Hello, everyone. Very good afternoon. I hope everyone is having a great afternoon. Since today being the 22nd of November and also being a Friday, everyone is anticipating for the weekend, correct? But nonetheless, the markets are still open, the markets are still functioning. We still have 1 hour to go before the stock market is concluding for the day and for the week. So let's start today's second live streaming session with a quick introduction about myself. I am Harsh. I have 8 years of trading experience. I have been trading the forex markets, the commodity markets such as oil, gold, silver, as well as the US based indices, correct? Such as the S&P 500, the Dow Jones 30, and the Nasdaq 100. Currently, we are also analyzing the Indian share market where we look at the blue chip indices such as NIFTY and Sensex and also analyze individual Indian stocks. So I am more of a technical trader. I specialize in technical analysis such as supply demand, price action, order flow analysis, swing analysis, wave analysis, and Fibonacci retracement analysis. I have been blessed to be trained, to be mentored by some of the brightest minds in the financial markets. I have had the privilege, the opportunity to gain experience from people who used to trade as who used to work as flow traders in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So it's been a fabulous journey, and I've been truly blessed to be mentored, to be educated, to be provided experience in the financial markets by such bright-minded people. Now, I've also been successful in handling $20 million worth of portfolio and have been able to achieve a consistent profitability of 30 to 35% on an annual basis. The reason I'm showcasing all the details of my credentials and qualifications are so that you can be rest assured that you are being provided information by someone who is eligible, someone who has the knowledge, the experience, and the expertise, right, when it comes to the financial markets. Now, let me ask you today's main question, which a lot of people are having in their mind when it comes to the financial markets. Do you think it is possible to make money in the financial markets? Or do you think it is not easy or not possible to make money in the financial markets? If you think it's possible, you can type one in the chat box. And if you think that, Harsh, maybe we do not know how to make money in the financial markets, you can type two. The reason we are having these live streaming sessions is so that I can get a better understanding of how the community members are reciprocating. So be consistent when it comes to interacting. You can type in the comment box and let me know all the details. All right. So I'm pretty sure everyone's concern would be like, yes, Harsh, it is possible to make money in the financial markets. But when it comes to making money, maybe we do not have the right information. We do not have the right mentors to guide us through the financial markets. So that is exactly what we have been showcasing. We have been showcasing on a consistent basis that we have been able to take trades and we have been able to close trades at a profit, correct? So within a span of 2 months on a sample size of 37 trades, right? 37 trades have been taken and squared off, and we have been sitting at a cumulative profitability of 152%, right? So to all of those people who have this question in their mind that what exactly is Dolphin Markets providing? Why is Harsh having these live streaming sessions? So the answer is right in front of your eyes. We are having these live streaming sessions so that we can create awareness among people, especially in India, that there is a brokerage firm, there is an analyst called Harsh who is able to provide you with trading recommendations that are providing considerable, not just considerable, but fabulous returns, right? We have been providing all the way from 18th of September to 19th of November, right? So almost more than, slightly more than 2 months. And we have been providing which stock to enter. We have been providing you the entry level and the target level as well. So we do maintain a list which is basically the stock tracking, which showcases the trades that have been taken and the trades that have been squared off. We even have the the current holdings. The current holdings are the trade recommendations that are provided to you, and they are currently running, correct? So you can see we have been very meticulous, and we have been providing with content in terms of trading recommendations on a consistent and regular basis. Remember, all the data that you are seeing on our screens are always updated on a real time basis, correct? So, for example, if an opportunity does come across, I will be the first one to let you know. So, what will I be letting you know? I'll be letting you know the stock name, the entry price, and the 5% profitability level. Remember, we do provide you with first as well as second target price levels, but over the span of the last 2 months, we have understood that the 5% profitability is the right level till where prices are able to achieve the profit value, and we can secure trades at the end. The reason for having these live streaming sessions is to showcase all our viewers, all our clients, that we are able to take trades consistently and make money, correct? Make profits consistently, right? So I'm pretty sure everyone can have a look on the screen. If for some reason you are interested in having a copy of our analysis sheet, you can definitely get back to my team of assistants and they will be guiding you. All right. So the trades that have been taken, 37 trades, we have been able to book an average profitability of 5% per trade, and we have done commendable, correct? When it comes to the cumulative accumulation of profits, 152. So you can understand the value that we are providing to you. Now, if I had to ask you, would you be able to make or attain such kind of profitability levels? I'm pretty sure it's very, very, very hard for people to attain such great values of profitability on a consistent basis. And we are providing you with the service. All you have to do is, number one, be attentive in all our live streaming sessions. Whenever Harsh is having his live streaming sessions, you have to make sure that you are attending all my live streaming sessions. And point number two, make sure that when the live streaming sessions are taking place, especially during the market open, during the stock market hours, keep your trading platform open, because the moment I come across a hot stock opportunity, I will let you know. And you have to take the action of placing that particular hot stock recommendation onto your trading platform, because only when you take action is when you can make money. All right. Our value in terms of our content is exceptional, right? We have been providing quality, world class quality content, right? In terms of analysis, in terms of hot stock recommendations, and in terms of education. So, with so much of value being provided, we are generally reserving our content for the VIP customers. But since we are in the initial phase of marketing, we are building our base in terms of creating awareness amongst the Indians, in the Indian markets. And that is the reason we have kept our live streaming sessions public. All right. Make use of all the information that we are providing to you, because it will be in a limited, it will be available for a limited time offer only, right? It will be available only for the next 1 or maximum 2 weeks. After that, we will be shifting from the public live streaming sessions to making it private, because we want to focus on VIP customers who are willing to invest, who are willing to take action, right? You can think of making money, or you can think of making money, or you can actually make money. The choice is yours. So be sure to become a part of Dolphin Markets, to get onboarded onto Dolphin Markets, so that you can continue receiving the benefits of these live streaming sessions. All right, I hope everyone has got a very clear understanding of what we are actually providing. Now, let us go and check in terms of our watch list. All right, so watch lists are basically the trades that you can see on the screen. We have been providing you with watch lists with hot stocks. Many of them, majority of them, are going and hitting target. There are a few which are going against us, but I keep on emphasizing on one particular, quote, and that is: trading runs on probabilities, trading does not run on certainties. So we as analysts and traders are doing our due diligence when it comes to selecting high probable trades. But sometimes when there are factors out of our control, right, such as macroeconomic factors, the markets will have been having a bearish sentiment, and that is the reason the prices have been, going against us. But we will always improvise, right? Since the markets are dynamic, we have to adapt to the changes in the market, and that is why we will improvise by taking additional trades, or any other form of instruction that has to be provided will be provided to you. All right, so you can be rest assured that all you have to do is, whenever a hot stock recommendation is being provided by me to you, just make sure you're present for the live streaming session, your trading account is open, and all you have to do is copy paste the values. Now, the other point which I wanted to focus was, because of the questions that I've been receiving on a consistent basis. Harsh, you are providing us with the entry and the target. What about the position size? Should we go all in? Should we go at, what is the percentage that we should be looking at? And to all those people who have been having this doubt in your minds, we always emphasize that whenever we provide you with a hot stock recommendation, we always emphasize on calculating a position size. Sorry, calculating a position size between 10 to 15% of your account, right? So we are not, gambling, we are trading. Trading requires a structure which has to be followed, correct? So we have a structure in place, we have the parameters in terms of where to enter and where to place our targets, and we have the risk management in place, right? Risk management in terms of the position sizing. So it is very crucial and very important to follow my instructions, to take action, because only once you take action is when you can start to see and believe that yes, there is potential in the Indian stock market to make money, there is potential to make money in the financial markets. All right. All right, so now let's go and look at the watch list trade recommendations that we have provided. In terms of Hind oil, yes, there has been a decent amount of, or a significant amount of correction that is taking place. But again, since prices are coming to a key flip zone, correct? It's a key area which is basically having a support which was converted to a resistance. So we want to see how this area is being held. If the prices are able to go above the area and close, we will provide you with the next set of instructions, right? In terms of what decision has to be taken for this. In terms of RBL Bank has achieved the profit target for people who had entered on entry 2. For people who are still having entry 1, please make sure to keep your entry 2 open, and as and how prices are coming to the orange dotted line. The orange dotted line is nothing but the average price of both the entries. We will inform you in terms of what decision has to be taken. Please be aware that prices are currently sitting at a key level. It's a flip zone where previously support was being held in this area, and now it is taken out. So once a support gets taken out by resistance, it becomes a flip zone, correct? A key zone or a flip zone. And now once prices are able to break above, there is much higher probability for prices to continue to the level around 175, where we would be having the next set of resistance coming in, correct? So keep an eye on this, and we will of course inform you, right, in terms of any other um, instruction, if required, if necessary, we would be providing it to you. Please be aware that the markets are dynamic. We as analysts and traders can adapt to the changes in the market. We cannot be fixed and certain that just because we have placed the trade, it has to work in our favor, correct? If it was so easy, everyone would be making money in the financial markets, correct? Very few people are able to make consistent returns, and for a matter of fact, we are one of those. All right, so we have talked about RBL Bank. Again, Hind Oil was basically based on the oil sector. A lot of macroeconomical factors taking place, due to which the prices have been correcting significantly. But as of now, there is a hope of shimmer, right, in terms of bullish sentiment. But with the key resistance at 191.5 area, we have to observe this zone carefully. RBL being a banking company, as we were talking about this, it comes into the bank and finance sector. Now that the prices are around the flip zone, the key area of or a key level of 158, we will observe and analyze and see how prices are reacting to this particular key level. If prices are able to close above, there is high potential for prices to continue to the next resistance, right? The next resistance being at 176, 175.5 ish area, correct? So we will update you in terms of this as well. In terms of Evantel, well, frankly, we have actually achieved target for entry one and entry two, but this is very important, and I need to keep informing our beautiful community members that whenever a trading opportunity is provided, please do your part in terms of, first of all, attending the live streaming sessions, but secondly, most important, taking trades. Now we do provide you with, on a general basis, we provide you with a range. For example, for this particular trade on Evantel, which is basically into the electronic technology and telecommunications equipment, it basically manufactures telecommunication equipment, right? So for this particular stock, we had provided you with an entry between 165 and 170, right? So whenever a hot stock or recommendation is provided, try to preferably enter at the best price possible. Now, what is the meaning of best price? Try to enter at the cheapest price of the range of the entry that we are providing, right? So if the entry is between 165 and 170, preferably try to enter around 165 or 166, right? Try to enter at the cheapest price for that range of entry that we are providing, so that the probability of you hitting the targets are, increased significantly. For this particular trade, we were able to make money not once, not twice, but thrice, right, before the prices started to fall heavily, right? There has been a lot of macroeconomical reasons for this, especially with Mr. Donald Trump being elected as the president of USA. There was always a pressure on the IT sector because of the anti-immigrant policies that Trump is so focused towards implementing, correct? So the IT sectors get affected heavily, and since Evental comes into the IT sector, it has been having the effect of the bearish sentiment as well. Nonetheless, we had provided you with an entry around 145, 148 on the 19th of November, 19th being a Tuesday. So the prices did hit our targets, and the prices are currently back into the area of entry. Remember, we have made money on entry one and we have made money on entry two, but this has been more of a disclaimer in terms of why people should pay attention to the live streaming sessions, and not just paying attention but taking action. Where to take action? Trying to take action at the best price possible, right? That so that your chances of achieving the 5% target increases, right? If someone had entered around 166, 167, 168, the prices could not achieve the 5%, right? We would be short. We would be maybe at around 3 or 2.5 or maybe 3.5% profitability, but we are aiming for 5. So that is the reason. Please make sure you're attending our sessions completely. Make sure you are diligent in attending all our live streaming sessions, and make sure to take trades at the best price possible. Whenever a range is provided, try to enter at the cheapest price of that range so that you get the best entry possible. Then we looked at Poonawalla, right? Poonawalla is again into the banking and finance sector, though it is a non-banking finance company, right? It comes into the finance sector, but it is not into banking, and it basically engages asset consumer and MSME financing through its pan-India network. So this particular hot stock has been quite interesting, where the inverted head and shoulders, as we had discussed in the first session, has been holding quite well. Prices have returned back to our entry number three at around the 360, 365 area. Prices are currently very close to it, and any changes in this particular hot stock, we will inform you as well. Last but not the least, we were talking about IP rings, right? So IP rings is basically into the manufacturing of auto components. It comes as a producer manufacturing in the industrial conglomerates sector. Now, for this particular hot stock, we have been looking and analyzing how the stock is performing. The prices have been we had provided you with a recommendation on 12th of November, correct? So on 12th of November, we had provided you with an entry between 200 and 205. For those who had entered, you have been aware that after the trade that was placed on 12th of November, on the 14th of November, so 2 days prior to entry, 2 days after entry, sorry, we have been able to almost attain 4.2%, right? So we were shy, 4.2, 4.3. We were shy from the 5% target by 0.7. So sometimes we do have these movements where prices come very close to our target areas, and sometimes it's called as hard luck or bad luck as well, correct? So but nonetheless, prices have returned to a very important support area around the 195 level. So we will see how prices are correcting, and based on that, once the prices are holding, which currently the prices are being held by support, we would be expecting a correction or a bullish sentiment all the way to the resistance at the 216 area, right? Since our 5% target is well before that, we should be in the process of achieving our targets hopefully by next week. All right. So we had talked about all the watch lists, all the running stocks, trade recommendations that we had provided to you. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are aware, and there is a lot of news about Mr. Adani, right? Where the chairman of Adani Group of Companies has been, accused severely of fraudulent activities in the United States, right? There is an indictment that has been charged against him by the US official representatives. So we have to be aware in terms of what the matter is all about, right? So let us have a look in terms of the news events, right? Let me take you to the web page. Though today has been a bullish sentiment, right? Quite a good amount of bullish sentiment. Now, that could be based on two reasons. First, being a Friday, correct? With Friday coming into play, there is a lot of profit taking place because of the uncertainty of what might happen on the weekends, right? Yes, the stock market is closed on Saturdays and Sundays, but the transactions are still being taken place, right? So there might be a gap up, there might be a gap down, there might be some uncertainty for the next week. So generally, Friday is known as profit booking day, where trades are squared off. So that could be one of the reasons why the stock market, right, has been having a bullish sentiment, right? Let me just show you the Nifty. So currently there has been good amount of bullishness coming in, right? And second, there have been articles roaming on the internet which have been indicating that the FIIs might return back to the Indian markets, right? So these are some of the factors which have been, discussed, and which are there on the website for your own research. Right now, when it comes to Mr. Adani, it is very important, and I hope everyone is aware. For those of you who are not aware, Mr. Adani, let me just find that article for you. All right, here. The day after Adani Group stocks were battered, right, following formal charges of alleged bribery and fraud brought by US prosecutors against the group's chairman, Mr. Gautam Adani, and other investors and others. Investors would keep their eyes peeled for any fresh developments, right? So, Indian equity benchmarks declined on Thursday. We are talking of what happened after the markets what had happened yesterday, as the sell-off in the Adani Group added to the woes of investors who are reeling from the pressure of continuous selling by foreign portfolio investors (FPIs) and weak corporate results. Right. So there has been a very serious accusation that has been placed on Mr. Gautam Adani, the chairman of Adani Group of Companies. And let us have a look in terms of the charts, right? What the charts are showcasing in terms of the because of the news event that has taken place yesterday. So let us return back to TradingView and let me show you. Let us have a look, because it's very important to understand such important incidences that are happening in the markets. They have a domino effect on the economy and on its neighboring stocks as well. So let us quickly have a look at Adani. As you can see, Adani has a lot of stocks, right? When it comes to the number of companies, it is very diversified. We have Adani Enterprises, we have Adani Port, we have Adani Power, Green Energy, Energy Solution, Gas, Wilmer. So let us have a look at the main company, right? Adani Enterprises. I'm pretty sure that everyone who has been aware of the news, the people have been panicking quite a lot, right, when it comes to the news that has been circulating since yesterday, because of the indictment charges that are being placed by the US prosecutors on Mr. Gautam Adani for fraud and allegedly bribing the officials, right? So, in terms of the charts, the prices as of today, right, as of yesterday, the moment the news had come out on Thursday, that is yesterday, we are talking about 21st, there has been a correction, right? A correction of more than 27%. With such a strong correction based on news events, there is a lot of skepticism, there is a lot of uncertainty. A lot of foreign portfolio investors are pulling out funds from these or are reducing their positions, right, in the stock. Let me have a look at this, right? So please be aware that such stocks, when there are certain news events, these news events can come randomly. So you have to be aware of such important news events as well. Sophia is writing, we just exited the stock you provided yesterday with a 5%. That is correct, Sophia. We had been covering about that. Sophia is talking about, let me just quickly have a look. We are talking about marine. So there was a stock recommendation that was given by us. It wasn't yesterday, Sophia. It was basically on 19th. So we had provided with a stock recommendation on 19th, right? And that is basically based on none other than marine. Let me just show you on the web page. We had provided you a stock recommendation on marine electrical, which had just been showcased on which was provided on 19th, But yes, Sophia, what you are saying is that we had achieved a target of 5% yesterday. So I'm sorry, yes, we had provided you on 19th, but the trade was closed yesterday. So this particular hot stock, which was marine electrical, listed on the National Stock Exchange, we had provided with the entry between 225 and 229, and we were able to achieve a very exact, to say profitability of a 236. Let me showcase you on the charts. In terms of marine electrical, this was the particular trade provided to you on 19th, all right, Tuesday. So we had provided you with the parameters mentioned in the blue color lines, and prices had shot up right to our target area, right? Prices came exactly to the target area. Our target area was mentioned between 236 and 240, and as you can see, the prices have just hit our target area. A very important piece of information to keep in mind whenever we are providing you with entry entry parameters and the 5% profitability target parameters. Please make sure that you are able to enter at the best price possible. So prices had taken time, they came in right into our area of target, and the prices have been able to hit the 5% profitability. Now I hope people are able to understand when I talk about why it is so important to take a trade at the best price of the phase, in terms of the range. So if a range, for example, for this particular stock is provided between 2 to 5 and 2 to 9, make sure that you're able to enter at 2 to 5, if not maybe at 2 to 6, right? So that the chances of you achieving the 5% profitability increases significantly. We are not here to be right, we are here to make money, and not just make money but making money consistently. For that reason, please bear in mind, try to enter at the best prices possible, the cheapest prices possible of the range of the entry parameters that we are providing, so that you can achieve the target. And second most important thing, just because the prices are just because we have mentioned it, the 5% target between the areas of 236 and 240, I have been getting a lot of questions from our beautiful community members in terms of, Harsh, if the 5% target is mentioned at 236, should I place it exactly on 236? And to those, my answer is, it is better to place it a point before 236 as well, so that you are guaranteeing your profit, right? At the end, do you want to be right, or do you want to make money consistently, right? You have to decide. We are looking for the latter segment, right? We are trying to make money consistently. So that is the reason, if the price is not coming closer to the 5% target, and if we have mentioned a 5% profitability, for example this at 236, you can keep your target at 235, right? So that exiting a point before is no big deal. Yes, you might not achieve 5, you might achieve 4.9%, but I think you get the point. There is higher probability of you taking trades and booking profits consistently, rather than taking a trade and being, for having a fixed mindset, though, that it has to achieve the target and it has to achieve the exact parameters of the target. So flexibility is allowed in trading. Since trading is based on probabilities and not certainties, we are allowed to be flexible with our targets, right? You can be slightly flexible. I'm not telling you that you have to keep your targets midway or something, right? But if the target is mentioned, for example, at 236, you can keep it maybe at 235, so that you are able to make the majority of profits, correct? We have been providing you with trading opportunities for the last 2 months, almost on a consistent basis, right? 37 trades have been placed in the last 2 months, right? So give or take, we are able to provide you with around 3 to 4 trades per week. So we are showcasing consistency, right, when it comes to the markets. Just be sure to follow the instructions of where to enter, where to take your targets in terms of profit taking levels, and the position size, how to calculate position size, and so that we are risking only between 10 to 15% of our trading account our respective trading accounts. All right, so I hope everyone is having a great understanding. Please be aware, since the value of our content is exceptional, we are going to be focusing on the VIP customers, customers who are willing to take action, customers who are willing to invest, because money can only be made if you're taking action. If you're only looking at the live streaming sessions and feeling happy that yes, Harsh is providing us with good information, Harsh is providing us with a lot of value, but if you're not taking action, it will not, it will not get converted into making profits. You have to take action, you have to place trades, and you have to make sure that follow the instructions, follow the procedures of what Harsh is saying, and overall consistently you should be making money, right? You should be making good amount of profits. So that is correct, Sophia. The trade that was provided on 19th, right? I'm talking about the trade provided this week on Tuesday. That was Marine Electrical. For people who are asking what is Marine Electrical is basically engaging in the business of providing integrated electrical and automation solutions, right? So it is into the manufacturing and distribution services, right? So I hope people are able to get the most important pieces of points which have to be considered while placing trades. First, the best price possible within the entry parameters that we are providing. And second, you can be slightly a little bit flexible when it comes to placing your targets so that you do not miss such beautiful. I mean, these are rare occurrences. One second. These are rare occurrences where prices are, just testing our take profit level and are shooting down. So that requires what? First, that requires, consistency in being present for the live streaming sessions, and second, placing the trades at the best price possible within the parameters of our entry. So this has been more or less about what we have been talking in terms of our watch list. All right, give me a minute. So with such important news events that are happening, right, with Mr. Adani, with the indictment charges that are taking place, it does have an effect on the indices and its neighboring stocks as well. So with such circumstances, the prices of those particular stocks, might have severe effects. We were talking about Adani Enterprises, right? A fall of more than 28%, right? 28% fall. You can clearly see, like, with so much of skepticism, with so much of uncertainty of what the markets are going to be, or with the pressure that is being built upon foreign investors as well as domestic investors, with a company that is a large cap company, right? Right after Reliance, we have Adani group of companies which are huge, right? So we have Adani Enterprises, then we have even Adani Port, which has taken a huge fall to the downside. We have Adani Power. So all the Adani based, stocks have been plummeting, right? Have been tanking because of such news events, right? So one has to be very careful and one has to be aware of such news events, right? That are taking place. Now let us get back to the charts and let us quickly have a look in terms of what about Nifty, yeah? Because in terms of the performance of Nifty, it has been considerable, right? Based on the flip zone, right? The resistance area that was flipped into a support and it's currently being holding. Their price is again coming back into an area of a key area of resistance, basically a flip zone. And we will be looking at this in terms of what could be the possible scenario, right? In terms of whether prices would want to continue up or whether prices would continue down. The reason we are looking at the index is so that we can have a broader view in terms of our hot stocks as well, right? The recommendations that we are providing to you, if the Nifty in as a whole is appreciating in value, the stocks that we have provided to you that are currently going against us should also have a bullish sentiment as well, correct? And that is the reason it is very important to be aware that we do look at indices to get the overall picture, and we look at the stocks to combine the two in terms of the index, in terms of the sector also, and in terms of the stock. All right, if you have any questions, if you have any queries, if you feel like I should be covering up some one, I should be talking about some other concept as well, please let me know, yeah, because these live streaming sessions are based more on interactions. The more you are able to interact with me, the more I can understand, engage, and modify my content based upon this particular community, right? Yes, I would be doing majority of the talking, but do not worry, we will be focusing on providing you with as much of content, and please be interactive so that I can, get back and I can understand in terms of what people are mentioning. All right, now let us look at one of the stocks which we are keenly not hoping, but having more what you call in terms of optimism in terms of its movement, right? Let's quickly look at IP rings, and we will try to dissect IP rings from a fundamental, from a sentimental, and from a technical aspect as well. Now, when it comes to the fundamentals, let's start with the basic fundamentals, right? So let us go quickly to the web page where we would be connecting you to screener, or maybe ticker tape is also good. So let's type in IP rings. IP rings, again, as you can see, is a small cap company based on the scorecard. Give me a minute. All right. Based on the scorecard, it hasn't been faring well. It's been performing low. Valuation seems to be overvalued. Growth is lagging. Profitability is not good but not bad, so it's average. The entry point is not, it is not in the overbought zone. These are just some points to consider about the overall performance of the stock. Nonetheless, like I had mentioned, it comes into the auto parts, and it is basically a small cap company, right? Now, in terms of key metrics, wow, it has a trailing 12-month PE ratio, price to earnings ratio of negative 300.86. So this is quite on the extreme side when you're comparing it with a PE's ratio based on the sector, which is at 37. The numbers are not justifying, correct? When it comes to the price to book value, it's sitting at a value of 2.36 with the sector PB being at 6.54. So these, the PB ratio is still attainable, but based on the PE ratio, we would have to check out more details in terms of the statements, right? Let's quickly have a look in terms of what the statements are showcasing based on the financial years, right? We have the year 2022, 23, 24, and the last 12 months trailing, right? So in terms of total revenue, the revenue has been appreciating, but in the year 2024 it has decreased slightly. Based on the last 12 months, the last consecutive 12 months, we are seeing that the values are coming back at par based on the 2023 level. So revenues have been increasing for the last 12 months, but as of this financial year, we have been seeing that there is a slight leakage when it's coming to, in terms of its total revenue, in terms of its net income. The reason for its fall in revenue, you can clearly see a net income where it is sitting at a deficit of 3.21. So in terms of EPS, based on the year 2023, which was sitting at 1.32, the year 2024 has been showing again a deficit of 2.53, right? and the last 12 months are also sitting at 0.65, indicating that the earnings have been reducing drastically compared to the previous years, right? Looking at the year 2022, it was sitting at 6.46, to the point where it's sitting at negative 2.53. You have to be a little cautious about when it comes to such values, right? Let's look at the balance sheet. Now, since this company is into the manufacturing of auto parts, correct? So, the current assets, as we can see on the screen, we are again going to be focusing based on the financial years. So, we have 2022, 23, and 24, right? So, in terms of current assets, the price they were sitting at 135 in 2022. It has increased to 154 in 2023, but again, for this particular year it has decreased slightly, right? In terms of its total assets, right? So sorry, in terms of its current liabilities, we are trying to look, since it is into the manufacturing, the general consensus should be where the assets are greater than the liabilities, right? Because that would showcase the health of the company and the prospects of a better future, right, in terms of its performance. But when you're looking at the liabilities have been at 130, 155, and 160 respectively, right, for the years 22, 23, and 24. So, yes, comparing it to the current assets versus the current liabilities, the current assets are slightly less compared to the liabilities, which is again um, a demeaning factor, a point of concern, right? The numbers are not matching quite well. When it comes to the cash flow, now cash flow is also important. Since it is into manufacturing, it will be requiring cash reserves in terms of managing its day-to-day expenses. In terms of net change in cash for the year 2023, it was sitting at plus 2.12, and for the year 2024 it has reduced to 0.71. So there is definitely a decrease in the net change in cash. And in terms of free cash flow, based on a number of 42.14 for the year 2023, the number has decreased again for the year 2024. So apparently for this particular year, the numbers have not been justifying the performance of the company, correct? Now, when you're trying to utilize this data in terms of understanding how is IP rings, performing to its competitors, because it's very important first and foremost to understand the intrinsic value of a stock, and the intrinsic value is understood by the values that we have showcased on top, right? Are we getting the value for the price of the stock? If you are able to get more value for the price of a stock, then that indicates that you have done a great job. But if you're paying more, or if you're analyzing that the value of a stock is not correct for the price at which it is being offered for, then these are points to be considered, right? But when you're comparing it with its competitors, in terms of IP rings with a P ratio of negative 77, quite demeaning, right? Compared to the other competitors such as Samvardhana, Motherson International, Bosch, and Uno Minda. You can see the numbers are positive and are, compared to IP rings, its performance has been depreciating, right? When comparing it to its competitor. In terms of its PB value, and especially when it comes to the dividend yield, I'm pretty sure many of you would love to have the cherry on top of the cake, right? When it comes to dividends, IP rings, it's the only company amongst its competitors which is not providing dividends. So quite a number of concerning factors when it comes to IP rings, right? Even when we are looking at the comparison of price based on IP rings, which is the dark blue in color, compared to the other two competitors, right? Motherson and Bosch, the price and its price movement has not been that significant compared to its brokers. Let us look at the holdings as well. Okay, for holdings, you will need to have an account, which we do not have. Nonetheless, okay, that is fine. Now, in terms of articles, for the reason that we are having these kind of depreciating values coming in, we can currently see that IP Rings has reported a consolidated net loss, right, of 0.97 crores in the month of September. So the quarterly earning reports, which are published at the end of September or October, you can clearly see that they have been reporting a net loss, and that is one of the reasons why there has been a strong correction in the prices of this particular company, right? So, nonetheless, we are aware of the reasons or the fundamentals in terms of why the stock has been underperforming, especially when comparing it to its competitors, and when it has basically acquired a net loss of 0.97 crores for this particular quarter. Now, how we kind of utilize this fundamental data and combining it with technical analysis, right? So coming back to IP rings, with the month of September, the prices, as you can see, has been having a strong correction nonetheless, right? Now, from a technical analysis point of view, which is basically based on the prospect that if prices have performed in a particular fashion in the past, they should be repeating that particular formation in the future as well. Prices have been correcting lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows. Prices have retraced and are currently returning back to the key support area. So yes, fundamentally the data are sounding a little disturbing, not to the mark of what we were expecting. But when you look at it from a trading perspective, please bear in mind, fundamental analysis are used mainly by people who are, who have an investor mindset when it comes to the financial market. We are more into trading, so we do want to capitalize on quick profit taking. So, based on that, since prices have returned to the area of support at the 195 area, and since the prices are holding, the last candles, as you can see, are called as tweezer candles, where they are equal but opposite in color. There is sentiment that prices are holding the support area, and we expect prices to continue up. Now, let me just quickly have an indicator which I would be using. Where is it? It's not come. Let me put it again. MACD, moving average, convergence and divergence, right? Oh, I placed it twice. Nonetheless, and let me delete one. In terms of even the consensus that we are getting from the moving average, the prices are still in the overbought territory and the moving averages are in the red territory as well, still indicating that yes, they are still having a bearish sentiment. But you can clearly see the size of the histogram is starting to reduce, right? Whenever a histogram starts to decrease in its size, right, that indicates that there could be a possibility for prices to reverse, right? So we will keep an eye on this particular stock and we will let you know for any changes that are taking place. Let us, one second, why is it on top? Let me delete this. Let us go and look at it on the 1 hour also, because it is important. So in terms of 1 hour, the prices are doing exactly the same thing. Let us see in terms of what the 200 SMA is also showing. Let me put the simple moving average and let me make it bigger in size. All right, so this is the simple moving average. And in terms of the 200, right, the 200, or sometimes people use the 50. So 200 is also kind of showing that prices are below the 200 moving average, indicating bearish sentiment. But nonetheless, we will keep an eye on this. Prices are at a very strong area of support at the 195 area, 195, 196 area. And based on the movements, we will update you if any updates are to be made. Today being Friday, the markets are going to be closing in the next couple of minutes. If you are getting concerned in terms of how the time is still showing us 20 minutes, you do generally have a, a phase in the markets which is called as extended market hours, where people are given a little bit of extra time to square off or to facilitate transactions, right? But nonetheless, we will be still considering as 3:30 as the exit time for markets. But please be sure that since Friday, which is also the end of the week, there will be, a lot of profit booking or closure of trades taking place. So we can see by next week the prices should start to come and should hopefully come and hit our take profit levels. Since the key resistance area is at the 219, 220 level area, we will keep an eye on this. And since our 5% profit is well before that, so we would not even have to bother about that. Our chances of price coming and hitting our target area also increases, right? Because resistance is above it. So these are how we try to connect fundamentals and technicals, right? Now, in terms of seasonality, which is also quite important, let us just have a look before we would be, getting done with this particular live streaming session. Now, in terms of the chart, you can see seasonality is just showcasing the possibility of prices to, repeat its phases, like how a season has different phases, right? You have summer, you have autumn, you have winter, and you have spring. So similarly, even the stocks and the share market have cyclical nature, right? They repeat during certain months of the year, and I mean they overperform during certain months of the year and they underperform on a general consensus. Does it mean that it's going to happen every time? No. But the consensus is higher based on seasonality. So as you can see, the dark blue color line is the 2024 data, and the red color line is 2023 data. Even the purple color line above it is the 2022. So we don't have to go way too past in the way back in the past. We can just look at the last 2 years and get a gist. Based on the last 2 years, especially last year, we can see that there has been strong correction, right? Right from the mid of November to, December, and next year it shoots up, right? So we can use this data to have a to have an understanding that if prices were having a bullish sentiment during the midweek of November and December and continuation of December, we can expect, right? Even for the year 2022, if it wasn't a strong correction, but there was a good amount of correction taking place in the year 2022 as well during the same time period. So we can connect these dots and we can get a more clearer picture, because we are at the end trying to make consistent profits, right? We are not here to hold, take a trade and sit and hold, right? We are taking trades consistently and we are trying to book profits consistently. But the more amount of information you have, the better, right? If you can manage fundamentals, technicals, and consumer sentiment together, you can get some of the most high probable trades, right? So I hope everyone has had a good understanding. In terms of summary, we had gone through all the watch list stocks in terms of how the stocks have been performing, what are the current sentiment. Yes, the markets are going to be closing very soon, so there is no hot stock recommendation, of course, right? How can we provide you hot stock recommendations when the markets are going to close? But do make sure to arrive again for the third live streaming session, where we would be shifting our focus from the Indian stock market to the international markets, correct? We have the forex, gold, and the CFD markets. So please make sure to arrive back to the third session, for to come back for the third live streaming session. And until then, I will see you again. All right. So I hope everyone has had a great afternoon, and I hope everyone that they have a great evening as well. Since the weekend will be starting soon, I hope everyone will be having a great weekend too. But please make sure to come back again for the third live streaming session. So it was a great session. There was a lot of information that has been shared, and it was very intuitive as well. So please make sure to come back for the third live streaming session. And until then, namaste. And